Yeah, so good morning or good afternoon to everyone. So my name is Willem-Jan. I am responsible for business development for a company or an organization that is called Living Tomorrow. And I've been doing this now for 12 years. I've been with this company for 12 years. And I'm basically responsible for bringing in different companies, organizations within our project and helping them to innovate, helping them to really show the future in a tangible way. My background, I have a bachelor's degree in marketing and I have a master's degree in innovation management. So I'm right where I am supposed to be. But it's amazing to be able to work with different companies every day, with different organizations, to learn from them, to learn their pitfalls, to learn their solutions for the future. It's a great opportunity. Also,
Willem, if I can just make a comment for those listening, Willem is in Belgium. And this future factories and everything else that they work on are amazing. They are what we would call living labs of the future, where you can come and simulate, you can try and test whatever you want to do around this future space that we're going to be inside there. This is innovation 4.0. This is how innovation needs to be done next. And I'm going to let Willem talk about this now, but I just want to make sure you guys realize that the way you're doing innovation management, wherever you are, that is innovation 2.0 and 3.0. This is 4.0. And with that, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for that introduction. You see the full presentation, right? You don't see your
yes.
faces on the left side. You see them or you don't?
Yes, we do. We do,
Oh.
William.
So, okay. So let's kick off by giving a short introduction about our structure. So this is the Living Tomorrow group. And on the right-hand side, you see everything that has to do with Living Tomorrow. Living Tomorrow is an innovation platform where we bring a lot of companies together in their ecosystem, where we bring in a lot of people to demonstrate those types of innovations, and we provide also feedback to our partners. The presentation is mostly fixed on that right part about demonstrating the future. The left part is Tomorrow Lab. Tomorrow Lab is part of Living Tomorrow and is specialized in future foresight. We work with scenario analysis, business design, business model design, and when people ask us, "Do you have? Are you fortune tellers?" No, we work with scenario planning to help our companies. But in May of this year, our managing partner Joachim de Vos launched his book, Why Innovation Fails. And mostly in these types of presentations, the Kodak case is often used. And actually, the Kodak case is often used in a wrong way. The real story on why the company went bankrupt, you can read in this book. We had help from the inventor of the digital camera, Steven Sesson, and he helped Joachim to write down what went wrong with Kodak. So it's also available online, so please pick it up. But one of these things, and I think this is one of the great slides, if you take a look at where organizations spend most of their time, they do 39% on financial reporting, 13% on legal and compliance. They spend 42% of their time on operations and only 6% on strategy. And if you take a look where they lose the most market value, they only lose 2% market value by wrong financial reporting, 3% by bad legal and compliance, 9% due to operations, but they lose market value because a lack of strategy. And you see this, that the pace of change is increasing. In the 1960s, the average lifespan on the Standard & Poor's 500 was 60 years. In 2000, it was 25 years. And actually in 2019, we predicted that it would be going even more faster downhill. But then we had COVID, and COVID actually leveled it out a little bit. The world stopped for about 2 years. And you see now in 2022, a slight decrease to 19 years average lifespan on the S&P. So this means that at this rate, 75% of the S&P will be replaced by 2032. So, and you see this in our daily life with Google Meta. Meta is also an example. 11,000 people are getting fired over there. So maybe in this presentation next year or in the coming years, you see also Meta on the right-hand side of companies that didn't make it. So that's something to think about. And how do we use scenario planning to predict the future? Is normally companies, they follow a trend. They say, okay, maybe it can go a little bit up or a little bit down, but the trend should be positive. But something can happen in the near future. For instance, you are the CEO of Nokia, and you just had your front page on Forbes magazine. And in 2006 and in 2007, Steve Jobs launches the iPhone. And your business can go quickly in the green area, or it can go in the red area. So what we do with Tomorrow Lab is we create actually a mirror of all these types of scenarios, the good ones and the bad ones, with the insecurities that have the highest impact. Trends, you can predict them, but insecurities, that's you want to model your scenarios on things that are very insecure, things that you can't predict. So we create that scenario of 2040, for instance, different worlds, and we bring it back on your business model of today. And this allows us to create a roadmap for the desired scenario, for the desired world where you want to end up. So a little bit in depth in how we work with Tomorrow Lab. But with Living Tomorrow, in fact, this has been our concept definition since 1995, is that we create a vision on how we will live and work in the future. And we do so by following the 80-20 principle. What does it mean? 80% of things that we integrate in our project are market ready, or they are entering the market or becoming available in a foreseeable period. And 20% of what we work with is 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So it's really far ahead. And we use those 20% to attract attention from media, to attract attention from stakeholders. We use the 20% to attract visitors into our project. So the 20% is really synergies between all the different companies, between the different stakeholders. 80% is what is available today. So in the introduction, it was said we have a living lab, and it will become more and more clear what I mean with 80 and 20%. So we were founded in 1990. We have more than 30 years of experience, and we are now building the 7th generation of our innovation platform. The 7th generation, in fact, will be opened by the summer of next year. We will have a pre-opening in June, and we have an official opening in July. And we are already thinking about new projects to start in 2024, 2025. We're looking at Berlin. We're looking at new locations in Belgium, a new location in Amsterdam. So for us, the way ahead is the way forward is the way to go. To give you an overview of our 7 generations, you see on the upper left corner, you see the first project, the first Living Tomorrow project. It was a house of the future in 1995, and it was opened by Bill Gates. And I wasn't there. I visited when I was a child, but I wasn't there. But the founder of Living Tomorrow said, Bill said maybe 5 or 6 times, shit, I didn't know this was possible with Windows. So in 1995, we showcased digital television. We had early Amazon, booking.com, all those different things we showed in the first house of the future. And then we expanded, and then we added in 2000 Office of the Future. We had in 2003 a project in Amsterdam where healthcare became an important part. In 2007, the creative industries. 2012 was more focused around energy, and in 2013 we even had a dedicated project regarding elderly care. We had more than 600 different partners that we work with. So we work with commercial organizations, we work with media, we work with knowledge centers, and we work with government. Although we are not a government project, so we are purely a private owned project. We also evolved from the first house of the future, which was solely a business to consumer platform, to a B2B and a B2 government knowledge center. And over all those years, we had more than 4.5 million people visit our project. I know you're all far away from Belgium, but to give you an oversight, we are about 5 kilometers from the European institutions in Brussels, about a 10-minute drive from Brussels Airport. So we are very well located right in the center of Belgium. And when I talk about partners and companies that we work with, it's different levels, but we work with insurance companies, car manufacturers, technology companies, healthcare companies. So about 70 partners we have at the moment, and we are integrating and collaborating together in our new Living Tomorrow project. To give you some idea on projects that we did in the past, was this in 2007, where we created a connected kitchen of the future. This was developed in 2006, 2005, 2006. And it's not only related to architecture. This was created in a whole new material, Corian, and was designed by Zaha Hadid, the world famous architect. But you see in the background, you see a large screen. And now you can say, okay, that's a touch screen. I know it's not special. But in 2005, this was special. We worked with apps regarding mobility, regarding energy, healthcare. And apps only became common knowledge in 2007 when iPhone was launched, or in 2008 with iPhone 2 and the App Store. So we were really 3-4 years ahead of our time. Also, DHL, Deutsche Post, the whole idea of the packing station that where we have about 5,000 in Germany at the moment. The whole idea of that packing station was designed within Living Tomorrow. It was tested within Living Tomorrow. It was integrated as a proof of concept. And then after a lot of feedback from visitors, DHL brought it into the market in Germany about 3 years after the original idea. So it is not only purely a concept, but also things that go to market. So when we talk about the 7th generation project, and it's a real innovation campus that we are building, and this is the latest rendering of our innovation campus that we are building at the moment in Brussels. And this whole area, it's about 1.5 hectares large, is regarded as a mini smart city. Parking lot is being connected with a building management system. We are integrating a house of the future over there. We are integrating a lot of different demonstration areas in that building where we can guide people through and really showcase new concepts, new technologies, new ideas. You also see a drone on the top of the building or flying. That's because we are integrating a fully operational drone port. We want to have the first building in Europe where drones, passenger drones, actually can land on the building, recharge, and fly away with passengers to, for instance, Brussels Airport, which is located about 5-minute flight from our place. So it's also a mobility hub in the future. Regarding healthcare, we are also implementing 2 floors of rehabilitation in the future with new technologies like gamification and a staff about 10 people that are really committed in helping people back on their feet after accidents or after illness. And in the introduction, there was said about living labs. And so about 30% of this building is a demonstration area. It's the 20%. It's really high tech, really far away, really innovation. About 70% of that building is a living lab. 70% of that building, we are also integrating a fully operational hotel. So we are able to have people fly in all over the world and stay with us and really test out innovations and test out new technologies and give feedback to our partners. It's really an amazing improvement in regards to previous projects where we only had people coming in for 1 hour and a half, getting a guided tour and leaving. No, here they can stay for 2-3 days, 1 week, 1 month, and really test out, really get a feel about innovation and new technologies. This is a rendering, of course. This was the building, a picture of the building this morning. So the facade is being brought in, but it's also a smart facade. We work together with Shuko. The facade connects with drones, allows drone to fly in automatically by opening windows automatically. So we still have a long way to go to the summer of next year when it's finished, but it will be as spectacular as the rendering. So within these demonstration areas, we see that technology, different technology is becoming more and more important in the future, like artificial intelligence, like 5G or 6G communication events, nanobots, autonomous driving, and so on. But you also see that you have partners and companies who are really involved in embracing these new technologies, but you also have companies who lack knowledge at the moment. So we want to offer a platform where different sectors, different industries can really experience what, for instance, artificial intelligence will mean for their sector. What does it mean in smart cities or smart industries? What can 5G or 6G communication mean in the future for smart mobility? What does it mean for your own house, your house where you live in smart buildings, and of course in healthcare? And all these different themes are so intertwined with each other, are so connected to each other that you really have a nice setting where you can combine all those different things. And we do so by bringing our companies into different working groups. We have 12 at the moment, but regarding home experiences, transactions, future of digital twins, future of healthcare. And within these working groups, and we, as the neutral catalyst, our people, we structure these working groups, these vision groups, We guide them, we create a whole process around it. But within these different working groups, the whole Living Tomorrow project is being realized. We are creating different scenarios which we are implementing. And this allows companies and our organizations to already start working together, to start collaborating, and to start even building up their own ecosystem. So they like to do it because they'd like to do it under the umbrella of Living Tomorrow, because they're all equal over there. And when a company individually goes to another company and says, I want to work with you, you have a customer supplier relationship. And within Living Tomorrow, all these companies are equal and they stay on the same level. We are the ones that coordinate everything. So that's a really interesting setup for them. And also, what this varies with some other projects, for instance, Siemens, they have their own house of the future or their own experience center, but it's only one company. And with us, you have different companies, different sectors, no competitors, and they really enjoy it because it allows them to broaden up their minds and expanding their whole ecosystem. To already give you a glimpse on these different demonstration areas that we are implementing, of course, it's still far away from being completed. But you see, we like to work with projections, with holograms. Within the kitchen of the future, you see over here, one of my favorites, in fact, a human digital twin. And for us, it is going to be the replacement for applications, for apps on your phone. You're going to have a fully a digital human, a copy of yourself, who is going to be with you every moment of the day, but be able to gather data, to do chores, to give financial advice, to give healthcare advice. Really as your personal assistant. And you see over here a couple of technologies within Future X, which we are implementing. This is really where you can experience on how we will live and work through AR, VR technology. And this allows us, in fact, to make a journey through different future worlds. Remember what I said, that we create different scenarios with Tomorrow Lab. In fact, this area allows us to really experience those different scenarios and make it more tangible, because some things you can't actually physically implement in a project like ours. But this allows us to experience futuristic solutions through interactive elements and new technologies. Imagine immersive technologies, or even scanning a visitor and porting him to a real-life virtual environment. So really cutting-edge stuff. Also, area we call it the autonomous, in fact, but where we work with drones, with robots, with nanobots, not only robots or collaborative robots in building and construction industry, but also, and you see 5G and 6G becoming more important in surgery applications, household appliances. In fact, we are setting up a collaboration with Miele, the kitchen appliance company, Mercedes-Benz, and Kone regarding guest and hospitality robots. So really bringing autonomous connectivity together. And also, last drone delivery. A lot of things are being said around that part. I know we are trying to, or we are implementing a fully operational drone port, but to have really an autonomous passenger drone flying in Europe, it's not for the coming 2-3 years. You have companies now that are front runners on electric. I don't want to use the word helicopters, but electric planes or aircrafts. But without a pilot and fully autonomous in Europe, it's going to be at least 10 years, our predictions. But yeah, nevertheless, we have to be ready. The AI cave is something, is also a demonstration area which we're implementing. It's actually an interactive 360-degree globe with new projection technology, smart cameras hidden in the floor and built-in sensors in wall and floors. And the area is completely smart. Actually, this is, for instance, our a control room of the future regarding preventive solutions, video analytics, behavior predictions, and so on. But in fact, that this area is a smart area with smart cameras. It also reacts on the behavior of the visitors. And remember when I said the feedback is also important, you can actually showcase different images to our visitors and based on their reaction, get true insights in the results. We work with a lot of companies, and although this we are talking about cloud since for a vast number of years already, but cloud still remains, and for instance, for security companies, a different topic to discuss. And within the project, within Living Tomorrow, in fact, we are going to build a complete cloud where you can physically walk through and see everything that is happening within a real cloud environment, a control room of the future, where different modi of transportation come together in autonomous ships, in cities, in ports, airports, and so on. And last but not least, yeah, my favorite, a human digital twin, or your own human digital image. And I know it's a difficult discussion, perhaps, when we talk about insurance and data being sent to insurance companies to use for predictive and personalized insurance stuff. But there are a vast number of other things that a digital twin is faster than you, smarter than you, for healthcare, for financial aspects, for household, for even family. So your digital twin, in fact, can communicate with people, other digital twins and robots in a more easy way than we can. So for us, this is the next step in applications. So thank you. This was an introduction into what we are doing with Living Tomorrow. And we do it because people really like to have a tangible environment, to have a tangible surrounding, to talk about future, to talk about innovation. And with this project, we can offer best of both worlds. We can talk about future technologies whilst having people together at the table, discussing, collaborating, creating synergies, and working together. So this is an invitation for all of you, starting from the summer of next year. When you are in the vicinity of Brussels or Belgium, come and take a look. I'll be happy to give you a personal guided tour of everything that we're doing there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Willem. A pleasure to hear you. Me and some other colleagues were there at your facility, and it was amazing seeing that, in person. I think you might have triggered, many questions, because you showed some prototypes of what we are going to perceive, and what we are going to have in the future in different industries. Please feel free, if you have questions, to ask Antonio.
Yes, thank you very much, Adila. Well, thank you very much, Willem, for your presentation. It's as I told you, I'm a foresight and scenarios practitioner, and I work in the field for many years, and I've been following your work. So for me, it's particularly a privilege to have you here, and thank you, GIMI, for that. It's really amazing what you've been doing for all these years, and you are really at the forefront of the prototyping of scenarios prototyping of the experimentation. Now everybody's talking about it, big scale, small scale, but I don't know if you were the first, but you were among the first ones to do it regularly and in scale. So it's really great to have you here and to have the chance to meet you. We just, well, I don't know if you know, but just to tell everybody, to share with you, we also have we already have a foresight and scenarios certification process here at GIMI. So it's a field that we are very sensitive to, and we are developing that field. So it's even better to have you here, so you can also share with the network your experience between the methodology and the simulation and the experimentation and prototyping. So I have two questions, if you allow me. The first one is if you could explore a little bit more about how the link between your scenario expertise, your foresight and scenarios, and the prototyping. So if you can share a little bit how important it is to have the two branches, the two teams probably, and the skills needed to do that. So it's not only about the capacity to simulate, it's also the capacity to have the visioning skills and the scenario skills. And the other one, it was about, it's more like an exploratory question, because you do a lot of work with VR and augmented reality. And I was doing some research, and I was thinking that maybe in the long term, there will be no difference. So there will be no, it would be obsolete to talk about virtual reality or augmented reality, because we will be unable to tell the difference between real and virtual. And if that happens in that future, what could be the challenges? Or if you already explore that implication of not because now we can still know when we are facing virtual or augmented, but I don't think in the future we will tell the difference. And I don't know if you are already thought about it, or if you have some ideas about the challenge of not making the distinction between virtual, augmented, and real, as we are more used to. Thank you very much.
Your first question, in fact, very interesting. We started in 1990 with really showcasing and implementing different technologies of different companies. And in fact, it all went well until in 2006, we did a project with one of Belgium's largest retailers. And we create together with them a shop of the future. With cameras, with automated checkout, everything was integrated, that new models regarding delivery. And at the launch, they said, oh, when a competitor comes with this model at this moment on the market, we would not be able to respond. We will be in serious trouble. We have developed a really nice shop of the future as a mock-up, but our business model isn't ready. Our company isn't ready. We don't have a culture of culture of innovation within our company. And then we started first steps into, we called it Living Tomorrow Research. First steps into consulting, into helping those companies. And then in 2009, Tomorrow Lab was founded. And you see often that larger companies first started collaborating with us and doing a Tomorrow Lab trajectory when they create the four worlds, the scenarios. And because it's 5 to 10 years ahead, when they start doing their business model exercises, they need a physical environment. You see that it is often too abstract for their teams to really captivate what does that scenario mean. And it often happens that after 1 or 2 years in consulting services for them, we make a mock-up or a first version of a world, and it allows people to really experience it better and to create answers, to generate new ideas. So in that part, those different things are very linked with each other. For some, they like to stay very abstract, but for most companies, they really want to go from abstract to tangible. So if that is an answer to your question. The second part, it's a little bit difficult for me to answer. I know our teams are working with AR, VR, different technologies to really captivate. And we have the explanation or the expression when windows become screens, or when screens become windows. And yeah, that's something that there's no difference between the real world and the physical world and the digital world. But that is still, I think, in the next project, it will become more it's more involved. This project, it's still, yeah, you are limited to the technologies that you have today, the different glasses, the Oculus glasses, the Unreal. So it's still, we are going to be able to tell it and have discussions about it, but to make it real demonstration, it's still a little bit too early. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
William, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead. We have some questions in the chat, and I know some people are raising their hands. So Rafael is asking, he would like to know more what you are doing in the group 10 that you presented, which is the future of work. William, can you tell us more about some prototypes or things that you are doing?
Sorry, Ira, I had a little bit, the connection was not so good. Can you repeat, please?
So Rafael is asking what you are doing more in terms of future of work, the group 10 that basically you just presented to us.
Yeah. So actually it is called the new way of working, the working group. We have different companies who are in those working groups. Let me think. We work together with Acodis, one of the largest engineering companies in the world. HP is also involved, Securitas, Port of Antwerp, Bruges. And what we are doing is we have now created within the working group 3 different scenarios that we are going to further explore and to integrate into a demonstration area. I don't know the proper details at the moment, but I can send you some insights afterwards. But within the new way of working, we are also going to have a hybrid area. We are also going to address the metaverse, and to see on how on all these different fronts new way of working is going to occur. But if you're looking for real into detail, I have to check, and I can send you more details afterwards. That is no problem.
Yeah, thank you very much, William. Would appreciate the insights to share with our network. Massimo has one question. Massimo, please, you can go ahead.
Hi, Irina. Thanks very much, Irina, and great presentation. One question. In the scenario that you just envisioned, Willem, what is going to happen branches where people don't want to go already today, where native digitals are going to, okay, how can I say, a little, try to avoid going to banks. Do you think that bank branches will have a future in these scenarios?
In fact, it varies, of course. Bank branches, we started conversations with banking companies, and it's all related more to cybersecurity. That is one of the most issues that they have at the moment. We see now that technology has made it possible to previously in a bank branch, you had to have an expert on every domain physically there. And now technology allows us to have bank branches where you can connect with experts all over the different branches, all over Belgium. They still have a future, but they are also going to a lot of challenges. For instance, they now in Belgium have formed a company called Batopin, and you say cash is going to leave. Now the 4 largest Belgian banks have formed a company called Batopin, where they are now really expanding their businesses and creating bank points back again in the city centers and in the community centers for people to withdraw and to deposit cash. So yeah, it's still relevant.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Ron has some questions. Ron, please, you are on mute.
Very nice presentation, Willem, and it brings back, all the work we've done over the last 20 years on innovation simulators and virtual accelerators and everything else, but you've taken it to the next level, so congratulations on that. A couple questions related to kind of connecting the future to the present and kind of doing this in different geographies. So you're kind of geographically focused on Europe in terms of the partners you have and the locations you have. Have you thought about partnering internationally, either virtually or physically, with any kind of franchises or anything else? Because it's certainly something that we've done individually for lots of our clients, and we talk to all of our clients who are working across the ecosystem about setting up this kind of simulator that would be an ideal kind of complement to typical accelerators. So I'm just curious how either GIMI or IXL or others can work with you, and how much of this can you replicate virtually and not require, I mean, it's much better obviously to have a physical location and presence and touch and feel and smell and all that, but where you can do a lot of that virtually and therefore probably do it faster, not to as high a level of quality. But so many of our clients are after speed. They want to look at 10 different scenarios, not 2 different scenarios, and they want to look at today, tomorrow, 5 years, 20 years from now. We have 2 clients right now, the future of cruise ships and the future of aviation, and they want to connect it to the present. They have assets that are supposed to be in play for 40 years, and how do they manage that? So my question is, how can other people around the world replicate or work with you to create this kind of a simulator in their area? For example, I have to give a speech next week at Innova Latam in Cartagena. They want this. I'm speaking to them about how they replicate the future dynamics of the ecosystem, both in energy transition to green hydrogen, et cetera, and biotech. So they want what you have, but they don't want it, they want it in Cartagena. They don't want it in Brussels.
Yeah. So it's true that we are at the moment really European focused. In fact, a lot of our lifespan was purely Belgian focused. We did a project in Amsterdam, we did it completely ourselves. Now in Germany and Berlin, we are talking with partners because we need speed also, and we need funding. Today, we fund all of this ourselves. When we are looking at new projects, we want to do 2, 3 at the same time. And we are actually a small Belgian organization. We can't do 2 or 3 projects at the same time. We need local knowledge. We need a local partner. We need knowledge of the market itself. So Tomorrow Lab we can replicate. Scenarios can be replicated that can be work virtually. This type of project, the Living Tomorrow Innovation Campus, is also being created virtually, so everybody all over the world can experience it via their screen. But also Living Tomorrow is also a real estate company, and for us to a large part of our income is also in the exploitation of a real life physical business and event center and an operational hotel and a Living Tomorrow. This all these different things means that we can create such a project. So the physical part is I would not say a must-have, but it's really important for us itself.
So let me add a footnote to the question. Have you thought, I mean, we've worked with a lot of the telecom and virtual reality companies about selling tickets at sporting events 50 times the same seat. So you have a facility in Brussels. Why not sell time in that space to organizations or groups of organizations around the world who can lease the space virtually for a day or an hour a day for a week or something, and have improv actors or somebody else kind of acting out the whatever it is they're interested or worried about for the future. So that would still realize your real estate ambitions and would in fact give you an opportunity to rent out space virtually.
Let's discuss this in another meeting, but I think, yeah, we are of course open to this. We are open to expansion, really. So let's discuss this in more depth.
You're doing a great job. Thank you for taking it this far.
Thank you for your interest.
Thank you, Willem, for the responses. Cristando has his hand raised. Please, Cristando.
Thank you. Hi, Willem. Cristando from Indonesia. Fantastic idea and projects. I heard that you extended your service from B2C, B2B, and now you are going B2G, right? The government.
Yeah.
Here is our situation. Indonesia have decided last year to move our capital city out from Jakarta to somewhere, not another island, which is now a jungle, right? So we have selected the design of the capital city, of living tomorrow in the capital city, but mostly are all physical, buildings, layouts, and then water, energy, transportation. But we haven't really talked about living of tomorrow in the capital city. So it's much more than just physical buildings, right? So I was wondering, just continuing to what Ron Jones asked, is it possible for you to help us by replicating your lab, the ecosystems, somewhere in the capital city? Because this project is a huge project with a big capital, big money. But I don't think anybody has thought about living in the capital city of tomorrow. They're just building the capital city of the tomorrow, but we need a lot more than just that. Please give your comment. Thank you.
It's great what you're doing there. Of course, we can discuss this. What we are doing, we have a lot of experience with communities, with cities, and you see now the government. A couple of years ago, we were working together with 42 cities at the same time, and governments are always looking at companies on what things they should subsidize or what things that they should support, and companies are doing the opposite way. They're looking at government and to give them direction. And this is why a platform like ours is important for them, because we invite government to see what companies are doing and vice versa. But of course, let's have a more in-depth discussion afterwards. I think my contact info is available, Irila.
Yes, yes, sure. We'll make it available.